Welcome back, guys, to Unapologetic Voices. You're tuned in listening to Kyle-Elio Torres and my beautiful co-host, Thomas Tripp. We're about to run it down and continue from our last session. Hope you guys enjoy any of this. If you do, you know the spiel. Shoot that like, shoot that comment. Hit us up on our email at unapologeticvoices1@gmail.com. Thank you guys for listening. Let's get started.
I don't remember all your stories. Just like, dude, they come at me and I start getting absorbed into the lore. You know?
I know. Right?
I feel like I have to call you like, Mr. Potter now because I didn't know you lived in a broom closet.
Most of these stories I haven't thought about.
Right. Yeah, they come back to you.
They're just Vietnam flashbacks
exactly.
At this point.
Yeah, I recall now that we're talking about this kind of stuff, like relationship-wise or whatever, and I can already see what the title of this goddamn episode is going to be.
Child story.
You know, but like...
child abuse.
Probably get the most views. So, I remember...
Shut
up. So my dad would purposely, just for fun for him, just to make him laugh, he would purposely let me say dumb shit in public just to make him, like, laugh. Like, just to make him, you know what I mean? He would use me as his entertainment tool, right? And which I'm sure you're used to, right? So, for example, one thing would be I would have tendencies to either pronounce things wrong, which is why it probably bothers me so much when, like, it shouldn't. I should mind my own fucking business. But, like, when people start saying things grammatically incorrect.
You just reminded me of the
You know
story,
what I mean? I got you. Next part. Grammatically incorrect or, like, whatever. I correct myself or I correct others really quick because it just, like, it fires in my head that whatever. I don't know why. But basically, like, for example, my dad would always take me to Dick's Sporting Goods, you know?
That's cool.
If you pay attention to Dick's Sporting Goods, the little hyphen in the Dick with the, you know, possessive S is balls. It's like soccer balls, baseball, you know what I mean, football,
that's what it says that?
No, it's like a line of the balls is the hyphen.
I wouldn't know.
Okay. So...
But that sounds cool.
Right, like the word dicks with the hyphen is, you know, the balls are the hyphen, so it's kind of like sportsy, right?
Yeah.
I used to look at it and read it as dick balls. So I would always want to go to Dick's with my dad because it was kind of like the Cabela's of the day where it was like, you go in, love Cabela's. And
my dad used to take me to Cabela's all the time.
Right, exactly.
Just cause.
And like, you know, you go and you see the fucking animal things, the stuffed animals, the guns, the
and then they had the shooting range thing that you could do.
Right.
When it was actually fun.
Yes. I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
You could shoot all the stuff and stuff would happen.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
So,
fucking Cabela's. Not sponsored, but if we were, I would fucking do anything to get a sponsorship there.
REI, Bass Pro Shop, guys, reach out. So,
dude,
we'll suck anyone's dick. We will sell our souls.
I ain't gay, but you best believe these lips are flexible.
I'm gay. So, we would go to, like, we'd be in, like, Kroger, right?
Yeah.
Grocery store. And I would be asking my dad, like, publicly, like, I was a loud kid, so I'd be like, Dad, can we go to Dick Balls? And he would just laugh his ass off. And it took 3 years for me to realize what was so fucking funny. And we'd be in the car. We'd be driving, like, to school in the morning. You know what I mean? Because he works there. And I'd be like, are we going to go to Dick Balls after work? And he's just laughing. He's just laughing his ass off.
You ever grab a ball and then you see, like, the hoops in there that have, like, the plastic on them and you still try to make the shot?
What plastic on them?
For the hoops?
First of all, don't like basketball. Never really touched basketballs in my life.
Okay, that's fair. You're probably more of a tennis kind of guy.
No. Why?
Because you're fucking white.
No. Not much for tennis. I like extreme sports.
That's fair.
You know, I love paintball. I love snowboarding. You know what I mean?
No, I understood, but I was going with a joke. Because for the bit.
For the bit.
Just to call you white.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Privilege.
Yeah.
So, what were you about to say?
So.
It sounded funny.
So, this is a story about my brother.
It always is.
So it's not very appropriate, right?
Okay.
So, I remember a long time ago when I was little, my brother used to say all the time, he still says it to this day.
Okay.
That I'm gonna fuck you, right?
Yeah, he does say it.
He's been saying that my whole life.
The first time I met him, he said that to me.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's just something that he says. It's been with him since he was fucking, like, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just says it, right? So, thinking about it, like, dude, he probably said that to so many fucking people just randomly.
Right.
But for some reason, I got it in my head that it was funny.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
just seeing the reaction.
But back in the day, before my brother burned down my family's house, we used to shower together.
Okay.
Right? Because apparently I wasn't trusted to shower alone.
Right. That's weird.
I was too little.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
So like
you don't want to slip and fall. You don't want to. Yeah.
Right. I was like 4 or 5.
You don't want to eat anything.
I was like 4 or 5, so I would shower with my brother.
Yeah.
Right?
I've taken a bite of a bar of soap before. I feel you.
Sure, whatever. I just remember my mom.
I mean, like, you're curious.
Huh? Oh, you ate soap?
Like, you can't get trusted.
I want you to know I had an abusive mother that shoved soap in my mouth, so.
I've had that one time.
So,
yeah.
I'm just saying, if you bit some soap, bitch, I swallowed some. Like, what's up? But I would shower with my brother, right? And then I remember my brother took me to a party to hang out with him and his friends.
Okay.
And it was just like a bunch of fucking people I don't know and all that, right? And I just remember going to the party and then someone like randomly said, "So I heard you showered with your brother." And then I was like, yeah, like it was a normal thing. I'm like, yeah, I showered with my brother. And then I just randomly said, he fucked me in the ass. And
what? You can't say that.
So like I just randomly said that he fucked me.
Okay.
Right? And then all I know is his friend took me around the fucking party and was like, repeat what you just said.
Oh my God.
I went around the entire party and I was like, yeah, I'm Mikhail's little brother. He fucked me. We showered together. And like everybody's laughing.
Yeah.
So like I'm all like, oh, this is a good thing to say.
Yeah.
So I'm all like, yeah, whatever. And I was just going around, and then I remember at the very end, I got over to my brother and I was like, everybody likes me here. Everybody's so nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck have you been saying to people? And then I was like, I used your joke. And then he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I told him that you fucked me. and then he starts laughing, right?
Right.
Because he's a fucking juvenile and it's funny to him. And then he's like, okay, please tell me what you said. I was like, I told him that we shower together and, you tried to fuck me and that's it. And then he's just like, he laughed about it, right?
Right.
And he's like, all right, come on, let's go tell some more people.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
That's
funny.
funny.
He didn't stop. He didn't skip a beat. He's just like, that's fucking funny. Let's go.
Horrible.
And he just had me tell like hundreds of people that I got fucked by my brother,
That's funny.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, I've never been fucked by my brother. Keeping that up.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Houdini does look really pretty after you showered her.
Right. Like, she's so
I'm seeing she's glowing.
She's like so much brighter and like...
Right.
She just looks a lot cleaner.
She's glowing.
Because I really did, like, I scrubbed her with like a brush.
Yeah.
And like... It didn't work fully because she was like fighting me the whole time.
Right.
What I was trying to tell you earlier, while I was like doing that and she like bit me and I was trying to get her off, she ended up biting me right here and climbing and standing on my shoulder and just chilling on my shoulder.
Yay.
She calmed down and she wasn't doing anything. And I'm like, bitch, we ain't done showering. And I dunked her back into the water,
Nice.
But, she fucking took... It doesn't look like she took a chunk, but she ripped the skin at least.
No, it hurts. Because it's a point.
Sucked.
And it's like, the pressure to...
Oh, and she wasn't
like
letting
the crank,
go.
yeah.
She's like, oh, you're trying to drown me.
Yeah.
As hard as she could.
Oh.
She knows what she did.
Poor baby.
But she dried a lot faster than she's ever dried, like, from what I could tell.
Look at her belly, just fluffed.
It's fluffed, yeah.
Fluffed. What a beautiful thing.
I combed it, too. She doesn't want me to touch it now.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, bitch.
Yee. What a mascot.
I know.
Gifts coming next week.
I look forward to seeing whatever it is.
If it's on time, I think we'll record next week if you're available. Or if I'm not dead.
I leave the 24th. So what needs to happen is we need to film another and have like extra for while I'm gone. Because I'm gone for like a week and a half.
Right.
So we're not going to be posting shit for a minute, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's really all you can do it by yourself.
If you tell me what to do, I'll get it done.
I'll give you the key to my house.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, if you want, I can just
be in
do
here.
It.
Hey, it's Kyle all by himself. I mean, Thomas. It's Thomas all by himself today. So, Kyle, let me tell you this story. Like, you're still going to pretend that I'm here.
Oh, no, motherfucker. I'm talking about uploading what we have.
Oh, I can, yeah. Okay.
Or you can schedule it.
I thought you were just going to make your own show.
No.
For the day.
No.
One episode with just Thomas.
I'm only so funny.
That's true. You're not.
I am pretty funny.
As long as you have something to bounce
Who's
off
funnier out of the two of us?
Me, always.
Now, is it circumstance or is it all the time?
So...
Do you get what I'm saying?
Everything is circumstantial, for sure.
For sure.
Right? But I think inherently, I am more funny.
I'm going to give you the boost and say, yeah, I agree.
And I'm going to smack myself down because I was born a retard, and for me to, like, figure out how to make friends and shit, and people would know that I'm, like, dumb, I had to, like, be funny enough to make friends, because a lot of, like... So, keep in mind, back in the day when I went to a school, it was a private school, right?
Yeah.
They kind of blended us all together, but you could tell who the fucking dumb kids were.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you were on that short bus.
Right. Well, keep in mind, one of the reasons why...
It's in my mind.
One of the reasons why I had a hard time learning in my younger years was when my dad killed himself, I stopped doing anything.
Yeah.
So... I had to go through like a bunch of rehab bullshit, or not rehab. What is that shit? Counseling. I had to go through like a bunch of counseling and shit. And then like, I finally started like paying attention in school and stuff. And then right after all of that, I got into a bad car accident that borderline made me deaf. And then from there, I just didn't care to listen anymore. Cause like, why would I pay attention to you when I don't even pay attention to myself?
Right.
And I was super hyperactive. So, for me to make any friends, I had to be like likable. So I tried to be as funny as possible.
Yeah.
I also tried to learn unreasonably difficult words. So what?
I had to laugh.
Okay. So one of the reasons why was because my brother was like
Don't take offense.
I didn't.
Okay.
Why would I?
You looked like you were offended at first.
I don't take offense from you.
Okay.
It's very hard for me to get hurt by you.
Right. I just have to eat your Fruity Pebbles.
Huh?
I just have to eat your Fruity Pebbles when you give me the key to your house.
There are no Fruity Pebbles in my house right now.
Okay, but I'll find something.
Gotcha.
Find your secret stash of snacks.
But nonetheless, my brother was like a spelling bee champion. Like he would go from state to state fucking traveling.
Wow.
Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I would always be around him. He'd always be using these crazy fucking words. And I would always ask him, what does that word mean? What do you have to do to use that word? Right? And I would learn that, and then I would use all these big words to act like I was smarter than most kids.
For sure.
You know? And, but I would never, like, I couldn't spell. I couldn't do shit. Like, the way that I learned how to spell when I was little, I memorized every word. So if it was a word that I'd never seen before, I couldn't do the, so during that time, where I shut down and learning bullshit, they were teaching the phonetics for all the words and letters and shit, right?
Phonetics.
Yes. What?
Look at you go tonight.
Fuck you.
You're on it, baby.
So.
Did you get a nap when you got home after work?
Huh?
Did you get?
I didn't get a nap.
You're just powering through.
Yeah.
This guy.
But so what ended up happening was that, you know, I never learned any of that. So like the word the. Yeah. I knew what the word was, but if it wasn't in front of me, I wouldn't be able to spell it because I didn't know what the letters were.
That's crazy.
Right. But if you had put it in front of me, I could read it. Right? So like.
But in your own head, you couldn't sound out the and then like write it?
I didn't know the phonetics.
Wow.
So the way that I forced myself to learn to read.
You're so special.
Right, but it was a coping mechanism that I had to do to catch up to all my friends. Mm-hmm. So I would listen to them read. Yeah. I'd look at what they read, and then I'd be like, oh, that word's cat. Now I know what cat is because they say this word is cat.
You're like a fucking AI. You're like a robot learning to blend in with society.
So that's...
Are you a sleeper agent?
Huh?
Are you a sleeper agent for the Cuban?
No.
Nationalists?
But that's how I learned to read back in the day.
I got you.
And it was very difficult because there were just words that no one ever taught me. So I just didn't know what they were. So I would be like, you would see me sitting there and I'd be reading a book and I'd say I was reading Dr. Seuss, right? And I was like, 1 fish, 2 fish, 3 fish. And then I don't know what the word for is. So I would skip that and I would say, other fish, I would just
what?
And I would skip that word because I don't know it, and then I would just continue reading. And if I didn't know the word, I would just completely blank it out, and I would just continue reading.
That explains a lot.
So how you've seen how I read things?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I still have that ingrained.
Yeah,
in me.
I've seen it. You like just jump.
Right. So.
That's so crazy.
It's something that I have to...
That explains everything. My whole universe has changed.
Theories, everything's breaking apart. So I specifically have to stop myself from doing that so that I can read properly.
This whole time I've been making fun of you, and you just have a disability.
So yeah, but my memory and my learning comprehension part is really strong because of this issue. So it was weird because I was always one of those people, the moment I understood something, I didn't forget it, and I was able to like redo everything over and over again. Right? And I'm still kind of the same way. As long as I understand it, I can do it perfectly fine. And I know that goes for anybody. But I'm meaning it, I understand it right now, right? You tell me to do it 3 years later, I can still do it for you.
Gotcha.
Even though I've never done it again since that one time.
Right. And most people like myself would need a refresher.
Right.
I get you.
So that's the kind of shit that would happen for me.
Yeah.
But I had a... 8th grade is when, so shout out to CCA.
Shout out to CCA.
Cesar Chavez Academy, high school, middle school, and elementary.
That's the second time you've plugged them.
That is where I went. That is like my second home if I had to go back to school, right? But during my 8th grade year, my teacher... he was my special ed teacher. His name was Mr. Wright. He worked with me for the first 2 years, and he said, I cannot teach you how to read. And he realized that he couldn't do it, right? He tried his hardest. Like, literally, I remember...
You're too special.
I remember one time he asked me to spell the word gun, and I didn't know how to spell gun. And he's like, how do you not know how to spell the word gun? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what that looks like, right? And he showed me the word gun, and I'm like, oh, that word's gun, right? Like, he just has all these cue cards.
Yeah.
And he's just flipping through them, right? And I'll name them, boom, boom, boom. If I don't know it, he'll tell me sound it out.
Yeah.
And he tried teaching me the phonetics, but it just wasn't clicking in my head, right? And I worked with him for 2 years, and none of it was helping me, right?
Wow.
Because of the way that I locked my mind to read words. If he had told me, this word is gun, remember that, that would have stayed in my head.
You're crazy.
I know. But it's kind of like, it's the retarded version of a photographic memory.
That's probably the best way you could explain it.
That's the best way I can say it.
Yeah.
Right? Because the way that I remembered things was just by like understanding it. And the moment I understood it, it locked. And I hate to say it that way because that sounds retarded.
You don't know how to spell gun.
Right. I can spell it now, obviously. But fuck you, I'm not gonna do it. Don't give me that thing.
Go ahead.
Fuck you.
Just say it.
But as I was saying,
why are you skipping over it? Just say it.
Because I'm not gonna fucking spell like a monkey for you, bitch. But nonetheless, he ended up contacting one of his friends from like another district, right?
Yeah. We got a special case here.
They came to my school, and I specifically had a one-on-one class with this lady. During the time, her name was Miss K. Mm-hmm. She had this crazy ass fucking name, but she just said, "Call me Miss K."
Kilimanjaro or some shit.
Literally.
Yeah.
It was like Cloud something, like really fucking long.
Yeah.
And she pretty much listened to me, right? She was like, "Okay, so I heard you know how to read, right?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know how to read at all." And she was like, "Okay, well, let's try this, right? Read this book to me as best as you can. Doesn't matter how you read it, even if you don't know a word, right?" Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, fuck it, let's do it. And this is just like literally a 3-year-old book.
I was gonna say, is it a picture book?
Yeah, literally, but like it had words on it, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, I usually don't talk too deeply about this because this is my shameful retardedness that I don't like talking about.
Okay.
But
expose yourself for the internet.
Right. I will talk about it because I'm comfortable doing it.
I like it.
That's why it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm past all of that.
Yeah.
I've conquered those specific demons that I've had. Fuck you. You're another demon. I saw this movie.
Don't sidetrack.
Oh, okay. So.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Sorry. Is about a parrot, and the parrot was like death or something, and it really fucked me up one day.
What?
I think I sent you a link on TikTok.
All right, go.
But so they gave me this teacher one-on-one, right? I would literally be with her for 2 hours every day. 2 hours. So what ended up happening was I read the book to her as best as I can, and she explained to me, she's like, "So you don't know a single phonetic, right?" And I'm like, "No, I don't even know what that means." And she's like, "Has anybody taught you this before?" I was like, "Maybe, but I just don't understand it, so I don't remember." And she's like, "Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down how you read." And this is how I realized how I read, right? Because she was able to diagnose it. And so all of that explanation of how I did it, she told me that, right? Mm-hmm. And she said, "Now I need you to understand you are wrong for doing this." And I'm like,
that's funny.
I'm like, "It's all I know."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're not bad for doing it, but you're wrong. And you need to understand that so you can fix it." And I'm like, "Okay, so how do we fix it?" And she's like, "Okay, so we went through the entire alphabet. I learned the alphabet once again from her, A, B, C, D. And then she said, all right, now we're going to learn the phonetics of every sound the alphabet has, right? And then we're going to learn what sounds certain letters have together, right?" We got through a lot of them, right? But I never, by the time she got to the school, I didn't finish her program, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I got as far in her program as I could, and then I graduated.
Yeah.
Because I may have not known how to read, but I knew how to do my work.
Yeah.
Like math, so fucking good. I could number, boom, I can slap those together, divide them, do what I had to do, right?
I can't do that.
I had an A in math. Science class, I had, I think, a D, because I never liked science.
I love science.
And then English, I had like a C, and then anything else, it was either a B or a C. During that time. But she essentially got me to learn all the phonetics, and then she started like putting them together, and I would sound things out, right? And I wouldn't know what they had made, right? Mm-hmm. So
give me an example.
I'm trying to think of like a good word where the phonetics literally make the sound.
Alphabet.
No.
Alphabet.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
But
it's not a good example for you?
I wouldn't have used that example.
Okay.
You know, in my head. So like, let's say apple.
Okay.
Right? If you spelled apple, go for it.
Apple.
Good. I can get you to spell at least.
Yeah. Because I know how to.
Right. But then do the phonetics for it. Do the phonetics for it.
Define phonetics.
oh,
Yeah.
right? And then from there, you get, the APPL, whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah. E.
I know. But I would do the phonetics to it, and I wouldn't understand at all. Like, and I would do each letter, right?
What the fuck does that mean? Like, you were looking at the letters, and when you sounded it out, you couldn't complete the word? Is that what you're saying to me?
Right. So I used to fight the urge to sound out in my head, right?
Why? That helps.
But that's the thing. I knew what the word apple was.
Okay.
So I was still doing my bullshit, like, oh, that's apple. I already know it's apple. I don't need to know apple anymore. Right? So...
But you weren't going the full mile?
Right. Because at first I had to break it down. But then when she would, spell it phonetically, and I would have to spell it phonetically, it wouldn't click in my head. That word means apple. Right?
You're losing me.
I know, it's hard to explain.
That doesn't make sense.
So do the phonetics, right?
Apple.
Right.
Like that? Yeah.
Yeah. You see how you said apple?
Yeah.
In my head, that wouldn't say apple in my head.
So you would just go apple.
Yeah.
What's that?
And I'm like, what is that? Because I would say...
But you're saying it.
I would go, right? Pa. Oh. And then I would make the E sound too. Because
yeah.
During that time,
yeah.
I'm like, eh. And I'm like, what is that?
Apple.
Eh. Yeah, I would say words like that. I would say the correct word, because you know how on some words, they're spelled differently, but because they're set up in a certain way, they're supposed to sound different.
Yeah.
There were certain phonetics that I just didn't know, and that she had to break down for me, right? Like double R's, double T's, double all that bullshit. I learned all of it after a while, and now I know how to read, but I still do the same shit that I don't want to do anymore.
Okay.
If I don't try hard enough, right?
Yeah.
Because how my ability has grown is that
disability.
Right. How my disability has grown.
No. Don't let me put you in the wrong path, brother.
Okay, whatever.
You're strong and you've overcome a lot to get to where you are today. But don't let me ruin it for you.
But so what ends up happening was for a long time, I took all that information that I learned from her.
Yeah.
Right? And what I would do is I used it to memorize other words. Just so that I would never have to read again.
So you cheated.
I cheated. I found my way to read by learning to read.
Well, I want to say that if it works for you, it works. But I've seen you in action, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will get stuck because there are phonetics I never learned.
What? That's crazy.
And I want you to understand.
It's also crazy because you speak two languages.
Yes.
So it doesn't make sense.
So till this day, I don't know what phonetics they are, right?
Right.
Because
until
it just comes across, and then I'll just look at it and I'll be like, I don't actually know what this word is.
Like spell xylophone.
I don't know how to spell xylophone.
I assume that's probably one of your phonetics you understand. Like, I think if you spelled xylophone and you were like k e z, you know what I mean?
Fair
It'd be like zilif.
So as you started to do that, I pictured what it would look like.
Yeah.
But I know if I wrote it down for you, you would say that is not what I just said.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's my biggest issue. I didn't finish her whole thing. She told me if she had at least one more year with me, I would have been perfectly set and I wouldn't have to rely on what I rely on. Right. So my whole thing during high school was I figured out how I could read, but I needed to memorize everything. And so long story short, right, because I'm rambling too much about it. Now I don't do that as much as I used to because I specifically, after high school, I learned no one's going to help me. I need to do everything myself. So I need to quit being a bitch and just start fucking learning how to read properly. So I know that sounds weird that it took me until my fucking 12th grade year to finally be like, I need to learn properly. So the problem that lies at hand is there are words that I have memorized, right? Like if I look at Warcraft, I don't read Warcraft. I just know that it's Warcraft.
Because of the shape of the letters. Like the title card.
Kind of. It's like a feeling I get, right? It's hard to explain. It's really difficult because it's just a memory that I know.
What does that say in the black box?
What, Rebel?
What was the whole word?
Star Wars. Right there.
Under that. I'm just watching it. I'm watching you.
What do you mean?
Well, you just said rebel. What does it say?
Are you talking about the little words?
The big word. What does it say? I can't read the little words. What's the big word say?
Revelation.
Don't fuck with me. You're doing that on purpose.
I don't know. I do that part where I'm like...
So you read rebel and then you gave up?
Yes. Immediately. That's how I read really fast.
Okay, so take out rebel.
Yeah.
What does the last part say that you didn't say? He's sounding it out in his head.
What do you mean? Like, you're talking about like the...
Yeah, the last four letters.
The lion part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put it together.
I don't want to...
Put it together.
I don't want to say it out loud. It doesn't sound right.
No, it's going to sound dumb, but I'm going to help you.
It doesn't sound right in my head. That's the problem.
Say what it sounds like in your head.
So like,
know. The audience wants to know too.
So understand this, right? We found a word that like in my head it didn't click immediately.
Right.
This is me doing that instant read style, right?
Yeah. How I wanted to see in action.
How I would do it normally.
I'm Mrs. K. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
How I would do it right now.
Yeah.
If like the way that I train myself, I would read the word correctly, right? I would sound it out in my head properly, and I would actually try to get the phonetics correct, and then I would say it. But how I read that is, like, it'd be rebel, and then I would see lion, and I wouldn't put it together. It's.
We'll just put together the words right now. Just say it. Stop looking at it. But say what you just said to me.
But I know the double L has its own thing that you're supposed to use.
Okay, but in your head...
And then the ION has its own thing.
You're skipping one step, which is going to fix this whole problem. You are putting two words in your head, right?
Right.
Say the two words right now.
Rebel lion.
Okay. Now just...
But it doesn't sound right to me.
Right, but what word does those two sound like together?
Rebel lion?
Yeah. You don't have to look at it.
I don't know.
Rebellion.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it is. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Right.
So in your head, if you have two separate words that are one word in your head because you split it into two, because you gave up halfway.
So understand this. Now that I know what this word is because of what we just did, I'll never forget.
Right.
It's now stuck in my head. I will never have to read that word again.
Got it.
If I saw it on a random piece of paper, it is now phonetically stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Now I know it.
I get how I got it.
Okay.
I took years of psychology for this moment. Right here. Because watch this. Look at the second Funko Pop on the bottom. So the bottom middle.
What, Gearhead?
Yes, exactly. You can say Gearhead because you know it's a character in a show that you really like. And you already know.
I know who he is.
Right. So you don't have to read that. But it's the picture that like...
Right. As long as I can understand what it is, I don't need to read it.
I got it.
But if I was trying to read it...
That is pretty normal.
That's what would stop me. Right? But now...
Yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
But the way that I do it now... So, like, I want you to know, I spent a year reading a book on my phone, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought the book was really cool. And I'm like, cool, this makes sense. And I kind of felt like I missed something in the book. Uh-huh. So I reread the book.
Yeah.
And
what book was it?
So the book is called Tales of Demons and Gods. It's about this guy who pretty much goes back in time to like change his whole fate, right?
Okay.
Long story short, all of his friends and family get fucking murdered. His town gets destroyed. He's like traveling the world, getting stronger, and he figures out how to go back in time. That's pretty much the basis of the story.
Okay.
He goes back in time to change the fate of everybody so that no one dies. So far in the story, he's doing a fairly good job.
But then he won't exist.
There's a little more to the story
Multiverse?
that I'm not going to tell.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a multiverse. I just know...
Well, like multiple timeline theory?
Well, the thing is, he went back in time, but he went...
Not a sponsor.
He went back in time, but he went back in time into a younger self. So he is himself.
I appreciate that.
With all his prior knowledge.
I like that. A lot of stories just assume you're an adult again going back in time.
Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Right?
So, but yeah, that's how my teacher saw that I would read.
Wait, what happened with the book?
Oh, right.
So what, you reread it? Did you skip a whole fucking chapter?
Oh, fuck. Sorry. I was...
Yeah.
So what happened was I read the book again.
Yeah.
But this time I actually because during that time I was just, can't read that word, move on. And I would just...
Jesus.
And I would just read it as I would go, right?
Yeah.
But I felt like I was missing something. And I was reading that back then when I wasn't trying, right? Then I got into that attitude, I need to start reading. I'm going to practice reading using the books that I read all the time, right? That's why I read a lot of manga, because I want to keep reading so that I connect two and two with all the different words, right? So what ends up happening is I reread the book and it's a whole different story to me. Like everything that I took from the first time, like I thought this was just like a really straight like edged story where I'm like, oh, there's not much depth to it. It's not too crazy.
But the stuff you didn't understand, you just skipped.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I actually read it and I'm like, dude, I didn't even know he could do this. Like, this is a thing? What the fuck? You know? And I learned like a whole new part of the story that I didn't get to do because...
Well, that's fun because you got to experience it a second time.
Right.
Right.
The first time I loved it.
Yeah.
The second time I was amazed by it.
I gotcha.
If that makes sense.
That does. You're like a puppy.
Right. So that's how like for like reading wise.
Yeah.
Got it for me. And like I still do that shit. Like I'll be reading a piece of paper and I'll read the words and I'll be like, okay, so I know it's that. But then in my head, I'll change a word really fast. Even if I don't want to, I can't help myself. I have to, like, if I say it out loud. And you've seen me do that.
I'm going to hot take real quick.
Go ahead.
Almost like John. When John doesn't hear or want to hear things he doesn't want, he'll just skip it. But yours...
Well, the thing is, me and John are pretty similar. It doesn't bother me to say that.
Yeah, bothers me. Uh-huh.
I know. But me and John are literally similar. We get along so well because we understand each other fully. Like, John knows when I'm on some other shit. I know when John's on some other shit. You know?
A crazy leg cramp, sorry.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Wow.
Don't have that when you're running from a fucking bobcat.
Holy shit. Yeah. That was crazy.
But yeah, I thought that was just a little random thing to have a tantrum about.
No, that's a really good segue into our relationship.
Oh, okay. What's our relationship?
Because it just makes it so interesting how we learn.
Well, this is why, remember when I tell you I remember things that you specifically forget?
Yeah.
And I can...
If you bring up the backpack with the laptop...
That's fine.
I'm going to stab you in the chest.
I'm not going to bring that up.
Okay.
But the problem is I can't mentally forget it. It won't let me. So it's something that's imprinted on me.
Right, but I think you replaced the image of somebody else with me.
No, I didn't.
Oh, here we go.
We're not going to talk about that.
This is it.
But I didn't replace anybody.
As soon as you drop this camera, I'm stabbing you.
There's so many conversations I've had with distinct people.
Right.
That every time I see them, it's like...
It rings back.
My memory for you is, boom, this happens, this happens, this happens. This is my foundation for you.
Okay.
You know? Our foundation is forever growing because...
I feel like I need to build a better foundation.
Well, your foundation is a lot of fuck-ups. But, so let's say me and Tracy.
Yeah.
Right? Just so that you guys know, I've spoke about Tracy before. She is a very short black woman who I work with inside the office, which...
they got the lore.
Yeah, just in case they didn't hear that episode, you know. You never know. People could be skipping around. But nonetheless, what? Why are you about to laugh?
Because they don't know the phonetics.
They don't know the phonetics.
Because they be skipping around.
Sure.
Come on.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, you gotta laugh out of the bird.
Thank you.
But so
What's your bird's name? Mussolini.
it's Houdini.
I know it's Houdini, but I was like thinking about a Mussolini joke for some reason because I don't know.
Gotcha. Don't ask me to spell it. All right. So
I'm not sure I could confidently. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. But like how my foundation with Tracy is, first time I met her, she was very quiet, didn't like to talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't have this. I need her to be able to talk to me. Right?
I need to force her out of her comfort
So I would just randomly ask her questions.
Yeah.
Right?
Open it up.
To build on it. And
Build the
like
friendship.
she's answered. I remember I don't know if she's going to remember this, but I spent a whole day asking her like 500 questions that I literally looked up on Google. I just typed in questions to ask something or to ask a stranger that you don't know. And it was just a giant list. And I just kept asking her these questions randomly throughout the day. And she would pause what she's doing.
You're a psychopath.
Explain it to me, right? Just so I could get a mental idea of where she's at.
Yeah.
So that I could convert myself to a way that she would enjoy talking to, right? Because everybody I talk to different. It may not look like it, but I do.
I've seen a little.
And then, like, some people it's really easy to see.
Yeah.
Because some people I don't want to talk to.
Right.
Some people...
I see it more in your posture, not your voice.
Right.
Yeah, the way you talk is, I think, the same, but the way you act is different.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see it.
So,
yeah.
I'm very, handsy and, like, whatever when I fucking show...
Not when you're with certain company.
Right.
Right.
I don't give them that benefit.
No, you're very, like, literally like this, like...
Yep, that's all they can get out.
Yeah, like you're very... Yeah.
But for Tracy, I was trying to learn everything.
I'm dying in here.
I know, it's hot as fuck.
Dude, I've been sweating this whole time.
Uh-huh.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool. But, like, for Tracy...
We're almost there.
I know. I asked her, like, fucking, like, literally, like, 50 questions. She answered a whole bunch of them. And then at the very end, I was like, hey, I just want you to know. I just looked up, like, a Quizlet and I just started asking you a bunch of questions.
Fuck you, Kyle.
Exactly what she said.
I got it.
She's like, well, what kind of fucking... I thought we were having a good conversation.
It worked.
And I was like, right? Wasn't it awesome? But now I know so much about you because before you wouldn't say shit to me. And now we can have real conversations.
There it is.
And then I let her know I'm fucking crazy, you know?
By the way, I'm a psychopath.
Right. But just so that you know, when I first went to college, I went for, like, therapy and all that.
Yeah.
Because, like, my whole life, I fucking worked with counselors. I worked with, like, specific people.
It grows on you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like...
And you're like, you want to reciprocate this to people.
Right.
I know exactly what you're
this.
talking about.
This is a great profession. This seems like it's worth it.
Then you're like, oh, it pays $40,000 a year.
Yeah. Whatever.
Right.
But then I was like, I started out in that, and then I was like, it's not really for me because some of the words were a little too hard to read. And I was just like, I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I switched over to computer stuff, and computer's really easy. Once you understand it, it's just boom, you can do it every time.
Yeah.
And it's like whenever you tell me you don't know something, I'm like, how the fuck do you not know? You know?
Yeah.
This is something I learned 10 years ago. It's like, bitch, I didn't go to school for this. You know? I'm like, I did, and I remember it. But whatever.
Yeah, because when I'm doing something and I don't know how to do it, you look at me like I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah. Just so you know, Higazi would do the same thing to you and, like, everybody else. Especially Sharuk.
Yeah, but we ignore him. I don't give a fuck.
I know, but...
Does he know about the podcast?
Yes, but he's never listened.
He's gonna.
Me and Higazi used to fucking just sit in the office laughing. That was Juan, by the way. What?
Nah.
Nah, I don't want him on.
Agreed.
Yeah. But we would laugh in the office because we would say something to, like, Sharuk or you or whoever, and we would say something that was, like, technology wise or something close to that, and you guys just wouldn't understand or wouldn't care.
Yeah.
And me and him would be like, They're not smart enough to understand. Don't worry.
Just two nerds laughing.
Right. And we just laugh about it. But that's also because, like, I think borderline Higazi has, like, his own special ed tendencies.
Real bad.
Yeah. Like, 100%. Like, just so this be known, if he ever listens to this, a retard can find another retard.
There it is.
Just saying.
Like a moth to the flame.
Yeah. But,
you guys congregate.
Yeah. But nonetheless, he would use, like, certain...
Why are we such good friends, Mike?
Of course you are. You literally told me you fucking had a job and you freaked out and were like, ah, the whole fucking time.
It was awesome.
Like, there's no way you ain't special in some way.
One of my first times realizing what was going on before going to the doctor.
Yeah. There you go. But yeah, me and Higazi would, like, laugh about that shit all the time. Like, when he was training Sharuk in the office, and he literally asked Sharuk, how do you add and subtract? And Sharuk got confused. I don't know why Sharuk got confused, because, like, I understood it as soon as he said it. He's like, we have these specific paperworks. This paperwork has to be filed this way. And then you have to understand that this one is subtraction. This one over here is times. This one over here is this. And that's what you have to do on it. And just follow the fucking... Like, it's all, like, worded properly that you just follow the line, you'll understand. And then he was like, now which one's which? Right? And then in my head, I'm like, boom, that one, got it. And I know, right? It's now stuck in my head. I now understand what his paperwork was.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason, it's stuck in my head now. But Sharuk was, like, sitting there, and he's like, I just don't know. Can you explain it to me, like, one more time? He explains it again. But him being the asshole that he is, he explains it in a different way.
Nice.
Just to try to help him understand. Because it seems like he's like, okay, he didn't understand it the first way. Let me change how I said it so that he'll understand it the next time. Right? So he taught it a different way. And you know how Higazi is. Higazi's good at explaining things when he wants to. So he explained it in a different way. And Sharuk got even more confused because... Now he used a whole different way to explain it. And he was just like, gone. Right? Fucking... Who you looking up? What you typing?
Nothing.
Who you writing?
My mother.
Liar. Alright. I believe you though. But yeah. So then, like, I'm sitting in there for an hour with him, and then Higazi explains it in, like, 3 different ways, and then he continues to explain them all in the detailed way, right? And Sharuk's just not...
Do you think I was messaging Higazi?
Yeah.
Not too late.
No, I was thinking Sharuk.
Oh, not gonna fuck.
But I thought you were just gonna text him, like, retard or something.
I already did earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for a whole different reason. I was like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't feel like talking to Juan.
Why is he calling you so much?
Probably. He wants to quit.
Yeah.
He told me to pick up his badge.
He didn't show up today. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to waste my time going to your house to pick up your badge.
No, have him drop it off. He needs to pick up his last check anyways.
Yeah. So, whatever.
He's a bitch.
Sometimes. I like him, so I don't...
No, I like Juan too.
I give him unjust bias.
I relied on him for several things over the last few weeks. So...
For the last few weeks?
Yeah.
He hasn't been to work, and, like, he comes
once.
He came one day.
A day per week.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm fully fucking aware of his attendance.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, you know, he was set up for promotion not that long ago.
He was?
Yes.
He was going to become a soup?
He's on my list for training for specific things. SRT first.
You were going to make him an SRT?
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. He was good at doing that shit.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he was going to get that, but in my head, he does not deserve it at all.
No, and I'm glad he wants to go to another thing, but the way he is leaving a job by not showing up constantly is ridiculous.
So the biggest thing is he should have been fired months ago.
Oh, absolutely. 90% of the staff should be fired.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many people, like, shit, you probably should have been fired for, like, your fucking attendance. Like...
5 minutes late every day, baby.
The only person who has near perfect attendance at this fucking job is me. Because I don't come late normally. Just so that you know.
Weren't you late yesterday?
I was.
All right.
But I was late because of Courtney. So, but nonetheless, I was still late. right?
Right.
Technically, I could also blame Juan because I went to go pick his.
There it is.
And then he took like an extra like 7 minutes to come out of his house when he should have just came out.
What the fuck were you talking about before that phone went off?
Huh? No idea.
I know you're proud of your perfect attendance.
We were talking about Hagazi and me joking around with Sharuk.
Yeah.
But I literally had to leave because I'm like, I can't deal with the stupidity. I couldn't deal with his ability to not understand.
No, I'm on board with you, and I can't speak too much on stuff. Mm-hmm. But I am there with you.
Right. Like
I've literally had to walk out of the office.
But what I'm meaning it by is you're on that spectrum too. I get tired of not being able to get you to understand.
What don't you get?
Right.
And when I break it down so it makes it look like I'm retarded,
and I do that
I'm on your level, yeah.
I do that for you a lot. And
No, hold on.
I try to get you to understand.
That's because you start from a point to where you think if you explain it the way that you know it.
The thing is, so my job isn't to understand whether you understand it or not. My job is to just say, this is how it should be done.
Right.
Get it done.
But you say it from a perspective of somebody that already knows.
Someone who should already know how to do it.
But I don't know.
But when I look at you.
When I'm drawing a hole in a wall.
So I want you to understand.
Without a thing that you only know the existence of, it's not my fucking problem.
So, but I want you to understand what I'm getting at, right? My whole thing is, because of the person I know you to be.
Yeah.
I think of you as competent. Right?
Hold on.
So
I am confident.
Because I think you're competent.
Stop saying it like that.
I expect you to be able to do what I say.
You're trying to look for the word knowledgeable.
No. Without having to explain it properly. I know it bothers you for me to say it.
Because competent's the wrong word.
No, competent is the exact word.
You're trying to say knowledgeable.
No. I want you to understand how well you can do it. Your competence.
I can do well if I know what it is.
Your competency is what I care about. Right? But I am assuming you were able to.
That's the word. You're just assuming things. So when you tell them to
understand, when I assume something about you, all that does is make an ass out of you, and it makes an ass out of me because I put too much confidence into you.
You're creating a false illusion in your mind.
Right. But like how I've explained to you how I build people up in my head.
I know. You're telling me that you're making me look like an enemy with your own opinions.
Well, no. How I see you.
I'm going to bite your phone in half.
No, how I see you as you're a beloved friend, right?
Okay.
You're someone who I can
Don't win me over with sweet words.
How I can say, hey, let's go lift that tree over there across the street. All right, let's do it.
That's some Neanderthal shit I'm in.
Right?
Right.
You understand that.
Right.
Right?
So then you give me a knowledge point.
But, right. I give you a understanding point.
And then when we go put picture frames up.
I'm like, okay, he's competent. He understands how to use his arms to pick something up.
Right.
And then when I hand you a drill and you're sitting there like, how do you use this? I'm like, has no one ever taught you how to use a drill?
I know how to use a drill. My mind was working and it wasn't working fast enough for you because we just recorded a podcast. We got off work. It's very late at night for me.
I'm fine with that. But that's not the first scenario, and you will know this. There's been other instances where I'm like, how do you not understand this?
What? Name another instance.
Punk, we literally just borderline said, like, one time when you were using the computer and you asked me, how do I fix this? And then I told you how to fix it, and you're like, I still don't know how to do that. And
what? The printer?
Well, no, not just the printer, but that printer is garbage.
What was the other thing? The printer is a prime example of how I didn't do anything wrong. And you were mad at me until you diagnosed it.
No. You wanted that printer to do something it couldn't do.
That it should be able to do.
That it should be able to do, but it couldn't do.
All right, so the printer's the enemy.
Garbage, right?
What was the other thing then?
There's been a couple, like, where I'll just tell you to do something and you won't understand.
Where's that muscle memory? The photographic memory.
So that's the problem.
Bring it up.
It's
Is it activated by keywords?
Sometimes.
You're a fucking sleeper agent.
It really...
Los Palos Hermanos.
Well, you know how my issue is with names, right? Like, I could know your name, but then when I'm trying to talk about you, I'll forget what your name is.
That's fucked up.
It doesn't ever come up with you.
My entire family does that. Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, so whenever I'm talking about, what was the name that we
You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Agnes.
Yeah. So when we're talking about Agnes, right? I'll forget.
See how fast I got you?
I'll forget what her name is, and then I'll explain who she is.
And then people will be like, oh, yeah.
This person's the blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, we know who that is. That's this person.
I didn't tell you, but I don't like her either.
Okay. Why?
She's adding to the list.
Gotcha.
I'll say it. She recently received a gift. Were you there? She recently received a gift card.
I gave it to her.
She came into the office this morning.
Yes.
And said to Penguin clan member and I.
Clan member.
Randy. And I. That was the first thing I could come up with. I don't know why.
Okay. He is.
Charlie Brown.
He is white.
That she did not appreciate the card. And I turned around. No, yeah. Let me start it off real quick. This has to be one of the last segments.
Okay.
So my mom was blowing up my phone. She's like, we gotta drive. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So she's like, I need to say something. She just comes in the office, by the way.
Yeah.
No knocking. The door's open, so okay. This is 5:45 in the morning.
Right.
Okay? I want to make this very clear to everybody.
Why didn't you just tell me? I would have just threw the fucking card away then.
I would have snapped her neck. She didn't understand the situation, so I see why she was upset. It's the way she spoke to me and the group about it.
Gotcha.
First of all, she thinks I'm in charge of everything. I don't know I don't know.
Well,
that's not my job, motherfucker.
You also carry yourself as if you are in charge of everything, just so that you know.
That's my confident facade. But I really don't know anything.
But just so that you understand, you can't fault other people because of the way that you carry yourself.
That's fair. You're right. And you know I love the attention.
Right.
So it's fine.
Until they start calling you Kyle.
Fucking cunts, all of them.
I love it because, like...
I don't mind it that much. I mind it if there's something specific to Kyle going on. It doesn't have to be negative. I just mean, like, you know, if Bill talked to you about something and then he calls me Kyle 9 times when he's walking by and he gets a little pissy, I'm like, that's because my name's not Kyle. That's why I'm not answering you, dick.
Yeah, I talked with him about that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious. He was like, yeah, Thomas was not very happy about me calling him Kyle.
No, he did it like 9 times.
And then I'm like,
shut the fuck up.
I'm like, I don't know why. He was just being a bitch. And then he started laughing. And then I was like, yeah, man, he's got like some superiority complex going for himself. Like, I was just talking shit about you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So Agnes comes in.
Gotcha.
And she goes, I need to say something with her fucking voice.
Loud.
You know? Loud. But she's quiet all the other times.
Yep.
So I turn around a little and I don't really give her my full attention because there's other people in the room. And I actually think she's talking to Penguin at the time.
Right.
And I'm like, apple pie. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? Free country. I literally say, like, this is America, free country. And so I go back to typing on my computer.
Yep.
You can say whatever you want. I don't care. So Agnes goes, I don't appreciate the gift card I received. I paused. And I was like, oh, yeah? Why? What's wrong with it? And she was like, well, how come these people got $100 gift cards or a $50 gift card and I got a $10 gift or $15? How much was that?
I think 25, but I don't know, actually.
We're going to say 15, just in case.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Because from what I was told, 25. But could have been
We'll say 25 then.
It could have been $5 for all I know.
Even then, we'll say 25 because now that makes me a little angrier.
Okay.
There's no gratefulness behind her eyes. So she's like, how come I only got 25? I feel like that's very disrespectful. And I feel like she starts going off. And I turn around, I lock eyes with Charlie Brown and Penguin. And I'm like, and then I look right at her and I was like, you don't appreciate receiving a gift card for the work that you did? For something that was gifted to you? I don't understand. See, like, I'm like, now she's got my attention, right?
Right.
Because she's going off. She's rambling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, pausing, like, waiting for her to answer. And she goes, well, yeah, it's discrimination. How come I didn't get anything? She's like 87 talking to me like this, right? And I was like, first of all, we don't have anything to do with that, unfortunately. You will have to speak to...
How is it discrimination? There was the other person who won was also black, and then there was one...
I don't know what
the
she
other
was doing.
person was an Arabic dude, because 90% of the people who work for the company are Arabic.
It wasn't even like a race thing either. I don't know what it was, but it was like, you know, she felt like she was given the bad batch, right?
Yeah, the bare minimum.
The bare minimum. And I was like, first of all, I want to let you know, we don't have anything to do with that. And she goes, well, I'm still upset. And I was like, okay, so here's the deal. The gift cards you're talking about, whoever's gossiping to you or telling you anything, have nothing to do with what you specifically got a gift card for.
Right.
And she goes, well, that's what I heard. And I said, that doesn't matter. Like, I was getting mad. I was talking to her like an adult. I'm like, that doesn't matter what you heard. You did this. You did a good job. And you were given something that didn't have to be given to you and wasn't given to anyone else. What you're talking about, and Penguin... Right, and Penguin stepped in. Total. Nice. Penguin stepped in and goes, yeah, you're talking about for the fair these people got these cards for.
Right.
You know, like, I received one of those cards, right? Yeah. I didn't say that. But, like, Penguin's like, you know, there was a fair that you didn't go to, or you came late to, actually, you know, a few weeks ago that we held, where people won those cards. And she was like, well, I feel like I deserve more. And I'm like, bring that up with Arlen. Get out. I told her, I said, get out.
Mm-hmm.
She, over the last week, I don't know what's been going on, has come to me with complaints constantly. And as one of the people that deals with that stuff, that is your job. That does fall into my job. So I've been listening and kind of like contemplating with her. And it's mostly like she's been coming to me to tattle on people, which is fine. And I'll give her a listen because it's fair.
Technically... when one of our workers needs to snitch on another worker, technically you are the guy to go to.
That's right. And I gave her the benefit of the doubt. But a lot of
it's just petty shit.
A lot of it's, number one, petty shit that she doesn't understand, which I try to explain and she still doesn't get.
Gotcha.
And number two is the fact that she speaks with such...
disgust?
Like disgust.
Disdain?
I don't want to say volition. It's like something worse. Disdain is so good. Disdain is the word I'm looking for.
Okay. Because I don't see her as like truly with hatred, but...
No.
Like...
But with pettiness.
Yeah, there's got to be like, so, why wasn't this for me?
How ungrateful do you have to be to come in the morning and complain about something you received? You know what I mean? Like...
Right, because... I want you to understand.
Yeah.
When I handed her the gift card, I specifically explained to her
what she did
to earn this gift card.
Right. Great job.
And I told her that. I was like, hey, I want you to understand it's my job to look at all of this stuff.
Right.
I want to reward you for doing such a great job. You're literally number one at our company. For this specific thing.
Great job.
Great job. Here's a gift card that my boss gave me to give to you.
Boom.
And those were like the words that I said.
Right.
So like to hear that she came the very next day saying, why didn't I give her more than that? She literally asked me how much was on it. And I told her, I was like, anywhere between $25 to $50. I have no idea, to be honest.
And who did she talk to within that day to hear about these $100 gift cards going around from weeks ago?
Right.
For things that were not related to what the fuck she won.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Technically speaking, just so this be known on the podcast, she did not win a gift card. I gave her that gift card. She won.
Okay. So she didn't even win. She was just so happened to be. Right.
No. She came in first place. First place prize sucked ass, and I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah. You did the thing.
So I swapped the prizes.
You're right. Yeah.
So what happened was... she was supposed to get, so there's a thing at our job that if you come late, you get points. You get too many points, they fire you for it. She just so happened to have like 3 points. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about like this specific stuff.
That's probably fine.
But it's nothing crazy. We never gave any names, but whatever.
Agnes.
Yeah. She had 3 points. She was going to get 1 point off, only have 2 points. That's cool because it takes, so for you to get 1 point off, you have to come to work for 1 month straight without coming late.
It's 3 months.
No, it's 1 month.
Okay.
At least that, unless Rima changed it, because 3 months is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, I just thought you'd like that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Kyle, it's so fucking hot in here.
I know.
No, it's like really bad. I'm bleeding through the shirt.
I know.
I moved like this, and it's like a river is washing over me.
I actually,
I'm getting baptized right now.
So just so that you know, I've gotten to the point where like I'm hot, but it's like simmering down because I'm used to the hot now.
I don't give a fuck. I'm dying.
So my body's like displacing all the heat.
If I wasn't wearing this bandana, I'd be sweating all over my face.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like, you know, I'm good. That's warm. Oh,
Moist.
that's moist. but yeah, we can pretty much close. But I just want to say that's fucking crazy, and I hate to use your fucking thing because in my head that would have pissed me off if she had came to me and said that.
Could you imagine?
Because I'm like,
I bet if she came down 15 minutes later when you clocked in, that would have been
right.
Yeah.
Because I would have told her, I'm like, in reality, you weren't supposed to get a gift card at all. I made sure you got a gift card because I felt bad that everybody else was going to get one and you wouldn't have.
And you would get something that you probably don't want.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I felt. I would have felt like, well, she saw this person get some money. She saw this person get some money. She got a point off, but I don't think she cared about the point. Especially because she's one of the only workers who barely have any points.
Right.
Like, to be honest, the other person, there was like 2 other people, right?
Yeah.
If the 3rd place winner got the point off, it would have been God's gift for him because I know he's got like 20 points.
Right.
You know? So it's just one of those like, oh well things.
It's just one of those days.
Right. But like, damn, like I threw her a bone and she just decided to spit on you guys?
Yeah.
Like she didn't spit on me specifically, but now that you've told me that, I feel like it is.
Oh yeah. No, it's a spit in the face.
It's like a damn moment. But that's fine. If you want to call it here, because I know you got to go on your vacation. You got like a 6-hour long drive.
7.
7?
Now that I'm looking at it, yeah.
And it's already 11? Damn, you got a long way to go, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
First and foremost, let us know how that goes, because, you know, we'd love to hear it on the podcast.
If I make it back.
If he makes it back, because he's planning on dying in the woods.
It'd be the way to go.
If he does die, we must figure out if we're going to continue the podcast with someone else or if I just let this podcast die.
What the fuck?
What?
You can't talk about replacing me while I'm still here.
Why not?
Gilbert.
Okay. If Gilbert is who you would want replaced other than any of our close friends, I would do it. I feel like Gilbert would have good stories.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's like another...
I don't know because all of my friends, our friends, are kind of shut-in neats.
Yeah.
So the only time they go out to do stuff is if I force them to. So
yeah,
it's one of those like, maybe Gilbert is a good choice.
Yeah, I don't have any friends that you know that would fill in well.
Maybe I would meet them for your funeral.
I try not to be friends with people who are as charismatic as me because I like all the attention.
I feel like you're
up there, and it really makes me angry.
Right.
Because when we're together, our energies are hitting one person at the same time.
Right.
And since you're taller than me, they go to you.
Sometimes I outshine you.
They really look at you. Yeah. I'm like, God damn it, look at me.
And I understand that. I think your friends, I wouldn't like any of them. Yeah,
you'd only like John.
Oh, I love John.
Right.
John's
he's
cool.
not. I don't think he'd be good on podcasts.
And
I say that respectfully.
I think he would get stale.
Respectfully stale.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I know we get stale sometimes, but we turn it around.
We turn it around.
Right?
Give us 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We're golden.
Like me talking about being a retard. That was funny for the most part, but there was some stale parts in there, and I know it was. But fuck it. That's still funny.
Yeah.
Especially when we did the rebellion bullshit.
Oh, yeah. We're in.
Yeah, see? Memorize the word.
Good job, Kyle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll never forget it.
You've been very bright this podcast.
What do you mean?
This episode. I just feel like you have been very smart.
Fuck you. I don't know what that means.
I say it.
I had to explain my retardness for you to understand my smartness.
There it is.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I'll be even more fully offended when you tell me about stuff or whatever, like I'm supposed to know what it is.
Right. Well, Okay.
You got it?
I'm perfectly fine with you slamming the backpack on the table.
The one time.
Both times. So you know.
It didn't happen.
It happened twice. It did. Anyways, we're going to call it here. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed any of this, leave that like, leave that follow. Other than that...
You think the closer's gonna save you? I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face. That's what I'm gonna do. You think you could just jump right into the conclusion of the episode?
Anyways, hit us up on our email at unapologeticvoices1@gmail.com. And as well... If you have any stories, if you have any stories, send them out to us because we're planning to start reading off a bunch of stories.
Yes, get involved.
We already have a few of them lined up. We're not reading any of them this time because our month is so fucking busy. He's going on vacation literally today. I'm going on vacation at the end of this month. So we're just trying to like figure it out this month. But next month we'll probably figure the whole story situation. But for the people who have been sending us emails, some of your stories, beautiful. Some of the other stories...
Not podcast worthy.
Some of the other stories, kind of iffy. But we're unapologetic.
Mostly sexual.
We'll throw them out there. Fuck it.
If we get desperate.
But yeah.
Which we are. Please donate.
Once again, I'm Kyle-Elio Torres, accompanied by...
Thomas Tripp.
Thomas Tripp.
Don't speak for me, bitch. Thomas Tripp.
Thomas Tripp. Oh, before I forget, I made him his own custom theme song for when he enters our Discord.
It's pretty awesome, but we unfortunately can't play it right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot play it for you guys.
Rip it up.
Let me just get it.
I wonder if those 3 seconds could be copyright worthy. Because isn't there a rule, or there was an old thing on YouTube where like you could have 6 seconds of a song or something.
So
you know what I mean?
It's 30 seconds. So technically, me doing that is perfectly fine.
Play it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for the outro.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll look it up.
It's 3 seconds long and it's short. It's just fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, instantly joined the Discord?
Ooh, fast.
Crunch is in there? And Kawasaki.
What are we doing? Are you fucking...
No. I'm just gonna go...
Yeah, go to the soundboard.
I'm gonna go to the soundboard. I gotta put it on speaker.
There it is. We're getting there.
Turn up my volume all the way.
Thomas Tripp.
All right, this is Thomas's opening song when he enters my Discord.
Thomas! Gays make me angry. What a fucking legendary opening.
Yeah.
I feel the curtains opening every time I walk into this Discord stage.
It took me like 15 minutes to make it.
That's the best 15 minutes of your life right there.
I spent like 10 minutes looking between all of our clips to find one time where you said Thomas like a retard.
Yeah.
And then
Thomas!
Yeah. And then you said gays make me angry.
Awesome.
I was like, this is perfect.
It is perfect, yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing that lately where I just fucking make little theme songs for people.
They're really impressive. They really are.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I try to tailor them to the person.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate the Star Wars Imperial March song.
Right.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
I thought I went through like 7 different like Star Wars songs and I'm like, none of this says Thomas to me. I need the walk-in badass.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I wanted it to be longer, but because of the restrictions that it has,
right.
It was only allowed to be 4 seconds, and it's 4.99.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I will say though, that's like really, it's kind of perfect.
Right, but at the beginning, like it used to be longer. Like
like it was 6 seconds, we'll say.
Dude,
and you had to break it down.
It used to be 8 seconds.
Ooh.
Yeah.
8 seconds of uncut raw.
There was a beginning where like it goes hard at the very start, and then it starts to get to that quiet part, right? And then you hear the Thomas, and then gays make me angry, and then it gets all hard.
I don't sound like that. Why did you just do that? Gays make me angry. I don't talk like that.
That's how I hear your voice.
Don't touch me. I'm too hot right now. I'm sweating like a motherfucker.
Well, I could turn on the air conditioner and we could chill for a moment.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But all right, let's...
Just kidding. I'm heading the fuck out of here.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, thanks for joining us, party people.
Yep.
Have a great day.
Oh yeah, we're
or
up for the night.
night. I don't know what fucking time you're listening to this.
What time is it?
You know what? Listen to our podcast during sex.
That would be interesting
Wouldn't it?
to like.
How many times do you bust or none if you're listening to our voices?
Like they would be listening to me talk about how I was a retard and then trying to spell rebellion.
Yeah, and they're like,
Right.
oh, I'm close. Right when he says lion, I'm gonna go.
He said lion. Oh!
Once he finishes. All right, cut it.
Okay. Peace out, guys. Check out what was it? The email.
What the fuck are you saying right now?
Check out the email and then give us that like, give us that follow. Oh, and if you haven't done it, share this with someone else because we have a lot of listeners from what we can tell, but we don't have a lot of followers yet. So we know you guys are listening, but you're not following, and that's okay. But we want you to.
You better follow us.
Thank you. Bye.
Or we'll follow you home.
Will we?
Oh, yeah.
I'll do it.